Hello my friend, here's a question that I get asked a lot. With a budget around £500, what would I recommend for a complete home studio setup? Let's dive straight in. So let's kick things off with the computer. Something I've noticed that a lot of beginner setup guides don't include, but I wanted to include this as a complete setup for you, as if you were starting from complete scratch. Now I'm going to spend quite a lot of my budget on this. I'm actually going to spend around half of my budget, but with good reason, because you're going to spend a lot of time looking at this. You want something that's going to be reliable and a joy to use. And frankly, I don't think you can beat an iMac, especially these 27-inch monitor screens. They're an absolute joy to use and such good quality. But I know what you're saying. iMacs are four figures. So here's my workaround. This is actually a 2010 model running up to High Sierra. You'll find them usually installed with El Capitan or High Sierra. Now the downside of this, of course, is that Apple no longer support these operating systems, but they are alive and working well. If you're going online, just make sure you go onto trusted sites. But with regards to running a decent DAW like this one behind me, it's running the free version of Studio One Prime. It works an absolute dream. And most of these, when you get them, will be pre-installed with GarageBand too, which is a great entry-level DAW. Now I've got another tip for you with regards to this iMac, which you can find at the moment around £150 here in the UK, is that I'm going to spend a little bit more money, probably around another £100, switching out the hard drive. Most of the hard drives in these iMacs now are getting pretty tired, and those mechanical drives can pretty much fail at any time, so you're going to want to get that taken out. And you want to get this iMac installed with a fresh solid state drive that's going to be nice and reliable. Getting a 1TB drive into one of these, and whilst you're there, get the person in the Apple shop to have a look inside and just clean it out. A little bit of a gentle hoover to get rid of any dust that might have built up over the last 14 years in this one when they do install that solid state drive. I got that done in this one for around £100, bring my budget up to £250. Next up, we're going to want an audio interface. Now there's plenty of budget audio interfaces I definitely recommend. On this channel in the past, I've recommended Focusrite. There's a great Volt interface from Universal Audio, Presonus, Behringer. They all make really good entry-level interfaces, but most of them hovering closer to £100. Because I've spent half my budget on this iMac, I'm going to have to go pretty cheap, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be getting a poor quality audio interface. In fact, this Fifine audio interface, which I reviewed a few weeks ago, really did surprise me in terms of the quality of audio I was getting from it. And get this, it's around £50, so at a great entry level price. Possibly the one downside you might find about it is that it only records at 16-bit, and the build quality could of course be better, but for around £50, it's hard to beat. Hey my friend, just interrupting this video for a moment to let you know about a free complete gear guide that I've got for you covering all home studio budgets. You can grab it right now from the link below this video. Now you're also going to have something to listen to your music on. And with this budget, it's tempting maybe just to go for a decent set of headphones, but I'm going to squeeze in a set of studio monitors too, because listening to music on monitors for me is far more pleasurable than being stuck to a set of headphones. So I'm squeezing in a set of Presonus Eris. Now, here's the thing. I'd sooner go for the 4.5s, which are going for around £150. Might be able to, of course, get them cheaper secondhand. But to cut down on the budget, you could get away with a set of Presonus Eris 3.5s. You're going to find that they have less bass, of course, than the 4.5s. Either size version is a great starting point. Now, you'll also want to get yourself a set of headphones too, not just for monitoring, but for tracking too, which is why if you've only got one set of headphones, you want to make sure that you get a closed back design. I actually prefer listening to music on open back headphones. They sound a lot more open and in the room. But if you've got a one set of headphones does all, then that's why you want the closed back, because when you're tracking vocals, for example, you don't want the sound to be bleeding out onto your microphone. For that, I'm going to choose this set of Samson SR950s. I'm going to be totally honest with you and say I haven't checked out 10 different sets of headphones around this price point back to back, but what I can say is that I've used these headphones for a long time and they're still going and I still use them. And finally, of course, you're going to need a microphone. Now this recommendation even surprised me a little bit, because after giving it a bit of thought, I definitely changed my mind to a microphone that I might have recommended a few months back, which would have definitely been one of the more entry-level condenser microphones. But for this one microphone does all, I'm going to recommend another Fifine product, which I reviewed a few months back, and that's their podcast microphone. I'm going to leave links to all of these products at the bottom of this video. And the reason for this is it's a great all-rounder. In fact, because I've been a bit lazy recently when it comes to recording myself and recording demos in my studio, I've just reached for this because it's set up for when I do YouTube videos, when I do some podcasting and I'm on calls. This is the microphone that I've been using. And I was really surprised about the quality of the results that I got from recording my singing voice. So I think this is a great all-rounder. Now, if you've got one microphone, you're starting out in your studio, chances are these days, yes, you're going to be using it for, of course, studio recording. You might be recording your vocal, you might be recording some acoustic guitar. And this microphone's going to do a pretty decent job. It's also going to be able to do all those other jobs. You're going to be able to do some YouTubing with it. You're going to be able to do your social media, hop on calls. It's going to be a great all-rounder, and coming in around £60, it's super budget friendly. So check it out. Here's my complete home studio setup. I want to hear from you. What do you think about this setup? Let me know in the comments box below. If you want to know more about what gear I recommend for setting up your first home studio, check out my free gear guide. You will find that below this video. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this one, you're definitely going to want to check this next one out.